I think we've all learned at a really young age that being beautiful is what make all your dreams come true. Even if we look back as far as like the Disney princess movies, we see that the prince ends up falling in love with the princess because he's overcome by her extreme beauty. For women, being pretty is basically the only thing we have going for us. And of course that sounds shallow, but am I really wrong? How many times have we seen people become famous or gain notoriety because of their beauty? The entertainment industry doesn't capitalize on inner beauty. It's all about your outer looks. Your looks are what is going to get you that contract. Your looks are what's going to get you dozens and dozens and dozens of fans. What gets your foot in the door. When has anything besides beauty ever mattered in this world? Honestly, but like everything, beauty comes with a price. People have been taking advantage of the pretty card for the longest time that now it's come to the point where like pretty privilege is actually failing them. Being pretty simply isn't enough anymore. I know it sounds crazy, but if we take a look at the social media realm, you'll see that like when you're not the typical pretty girl that has, the pretty privilege, you stand out and become an outlier, thus actually piquing people's attention and interest and putting more attention on you. A perfect example would of course be Madison Beer. Listen, to all the people that watch my videos on a weekly basis know I've talked about her many times on my channel, but she's literally like the 10 out of 10 perfect example for this. Straight out the gate, Madison was an extremely beautiful girl. She had all the qualities that the world wanted. She had the pretty hair, the brown eyes, an amazing and beautiful body. I mean, this girl was a walking, breathing brunette Barbie doll. But fans have been questioning for like the longest time, why is it that Madison never really reached her peak fame success that most people her age do? Madison has been in the entertainment and, singing industry since she was like a teenager, yet she is kind of still at the same level that she always has been on. And a lot of people have come to the conclusion that Madison is simply too pretty to be any more famous than she already is. And that sounds just so ridiculous and crazy, but that's really what a lot of people are thinking. The overall impression is that she's too pretty to be talented, and all she has to offer is her looks. And since she looks like, every other pretty girl you see on TikTok or Instagram, people quickly just get bored of her and just move on to the next thing. Madison is really, a sight for sore eyes, and she's extremely beautiful, and I think most people would agree with me, but surprisingly in her case, being pretty failed her because despite having a extremely beautiful and talented voice, everyone just expected her to be looks and no talent. And I don't know if she knows about this whole ordeal about, oh, you're too pretty to be talented and, things of that nature. But recently I've been seeing her going out in public and, going on interviews with pimple patches all over her face and acne, and sometimes her hair is not done all the way. And I've just recently been seeing that she looks more human, but that's what people wanted from the get-go. But I also just think a lot of girls are honestly just jealous of her looks, if I'm being completely honest, because I see a lot of people like hating on Madison for no reason. I see so many comments on social media of people saying, oh, I don't really know her, but for some reason I just hate her. I'm just like, what? It's kind of like those cases where you just assume that those really pretty popular girls in school are just a bitch, but then by the end of the school year you realize that she's more than just a pretty face and has so much more to offer. Dove Cameron is also a really good example of this topic of conversation. For the longest time, Cameron has always been known as the perfect girl next door. She had the blonde hair, the lashes, the preppy outfits, and all the roles she played, she was like the perfect girl that everyone loved. I think people know her best from Liv and Maddie and Descendants, back in the day, and she carried that whole facade for a long time. But a couple years later, she eventually went brunette. I think at one point she started to dye her eyebrows. She started wearing makeup looks that weren't what you would conventionally see on girls. Her fashion sense changed to an extreme degree. Everything about her outwardly appearance just took a full 180, and a lot of people actually liked it. Dove Cameron was able to bring that shock factor of going from a blonde Barbie doll to, like these unconventional, unorthodox makeup and fashion looks, and people started to pay attention to her again. And now she isn't known as like that perfect girl next door. This is one of many cases where a girl changed her outwardly appearance to an unorthodox one, and the shock factor worked in their favor. Same with Noah Cyrus. Noah was just another run-in-the-mill pretty girl, and she had the perfect Instagram. She had the typical influencer look. She looked just like everyone else, but she too did a full 180 on her looks and now looks night and day. The bleach eyebrows, the jumbo lips, and the outfits, she was really able to get that shock factor and become a big topic of conversation for a long time with a lot of people. And when we talk about shock factor, I do believe Doja Cat would take first place trophy. It's weird because I remember seeing Doja Cat in, Vogue, a Vogue Get Ready With Me video years and years ago, and she looked like a typical sweet girl just trying to make it in the entertainment industry. But eventually, everything from her music to her looks completely changed, and everyone was eating every single crumb up, and they loved the weird music videos and the dance moves and the weird fashion looks. Doja Cat completely blew up. Now, Lady Gaga from the start was already serving the intriguing dance moves and makeup looks from, day one. She always stood out from the crowd, and she was really able to make a really big name for herself because she marched to the beat of her own drum, and she didn't follow the path that a lot of other women her age were doing, and it really worked in her favor. Being different and having that shock factor will always undoubtedly give you that attention that everyone is craving. Chappelle Rowe. As you can tell, I have no idea who these people are. It's Chapel Rowe, not Chappelle Rowe. I'm so sorry I mispronounced her name. Oh my gosh, so embarrassing. Chappelle is always, serving these crazy different fashion looks and music that a lot of people are obsessed with. I'm personally not a fan of her. I don't see what the big hype is, but I do have to say she really does stand out. And I can really see why so many women don't want to be the typical pretty privileged girl anymore. Because if we take a look at Megan Fox in her life, she has put up with so much crap from the public. Ever since entering the entertainment and acting industry, Megan Fox has just always been seen for her body, and that's literally it. Most people regard her as a pretty face and an amazing body.
I don't read any of my own press. I can't. It gives me I need to take a Xanax.
But wait a minute now. But then now you're a sex symbol though. I mean, you're like an FHM, Maxim, and you're like one of the hottest girls listed. So what does that do for you?
Do you numb yourself to? I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a man alive who's not in love with you in some way.
You're so silly.
You know what am I really?
You're a silly
No,
man.
I'm not silly at all.
You're a silly man in a checkered shirt.
I am not.
Don't say that.
Before we go, what is your life like? Do you have a handle on your life right now?
Oh, sure.
Really?
Yeah. What do you mean?
You have to go into every situation when you have a conversation with a man you've never met that is going to end at some point with him flirting with you.
No, absolutely not. Johnny's never flirted with me once.
He's been flirting the whole time we've been sitting here.
Oh, is that what flirting is?
See, now I think you're flirting with me. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
This one, you are just... Michael Bay make you an icon.
Okay.
I thought of a sex icon, the shot on the motorcycle.
Who can't bend over a motorcycle? What did I do that was so special? As long as I was doing one-handed push-ups, I just bent over a motorcycle.
It's not really about what you did, but what he did.
What he did,
yeah.
sure, I
making
agree with that.
making you looking just gorgeous.
Thank God for Michael Bay. If I could have Michael Bay with me every moment of every day, I would, believe me.
Mm-hmm. Really? What are you going to do next? Because you are a sex icon. Not really, but look at the cover.
Since day one, essentially all of her roles have just been playing the hot, sexy girl that a million guys would kill to be with. In her past interviews, men have consistently sexualized her, asked her millions of inappropriate questions. Everyone just regards her as a sex symbol back in her prime days. And honestly, I would hate to be in her position. And that says a lot because so many of us want to be that pretty girl that everyone wants to be with. But now we're slowly starting to realize that that might not be in our best interest. People are tired of seeing the same basic pretty influencer on TikTok and Instagram. I mean, yes, they're always going to be famous and people will always love those girls and guys, but there's only so much fame and success that you can reach just going off of your looks. And I'm not saying that just because they have a big following and are posting pictures of themselves I'm not saying that that just automatically means they're trying to just get famous from their looks, but everyone just loves a good shock factor. It's sad, but whenever we see that, people tend to give women more respect and opportunity, and they don't regard them as just a pretty face and a pretty body. And it's sad that we have to play that card in order to be respected and in order to be seen and taken seriously. I don't think I would ever be saying these words, but here we are. Sometimes being pretty just is not enough. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Check out other videos on my channel. I upload every single week. Leave comments down below, and I'll see you back for my next video. Bye guys.